What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scyushi and we are back some more Trove. I know it's been a while, hasn't it? Well, we ended up having a couple videos here and there, but generally speaking, I kind of talked about this in my last video where things didn't go quite according to plan. First of all, the Luxian event, I was streaming that every day and I kind of burnt myself out a little bit. I think you guys were a little bit burnt out as well because those streams didn't perform too well. But on top of all of that, I was also kind of planning on taking a break and then starting a new beginning series when the Trove was on the Switch 2. Yay, because then I could actually play it at 60 frames and it wouldn't die all the time, and then I could potentially use a Joy-Con mouse control. Nope, none of that works. So the devs did end up commenting. Somebody asked them in their Discord, and they basically said, yeah, we'll get working on the Switch 2 version in the following weeks. So who knows when it'll be a thing, and who knows whether or not it'll actually take advantage of the Joy-Con mouse. So yeah, I guess that means we're just gonna get back to the normal Trove stuff. But today I'm feeling a bit ill. I had like a major headache and stuff that I'm just getting over. Ooh, we got double star bar this week. Also, we got the Splendid Summer event. So yeah, look forward to that. Anyway, we have the newsletter. So the new newsletter is finally here for Trove. Let me get this set up for you guys. This was originally promised to us last week, and then it got delayed until Friday, and then we heard no word, and now it suddenly is just here. So who knows what happened with any of that. So anyways, we'll go through it before we end up getting to the whole Q&A section of it. Greetings, Trovians, ready or not, June is here. I mean, it's almost halfway through June already. I mean, well, not halfway, let's be real. Anyway, we got a splendid summer event around the corner, some fun community activities in the works, and yes, we're answering a few of your questions. Let's kick things off with a quick look back at May. So they give us a recap of the events that ended up happening. They also had some, I guess, cornerstone contests, and these actually look pretty ballin', especially the teddy bear one. I like that because it's an in-game prop, but all of these actually look really good. Too bad I don't build anything anymore. I can't stand building. So anyway, upcoming. So sun, sales, and summer style. Yes, please. Starting June 10th, which is currently, yay today, or was that yesterday? I don't know when this video goes up. Anyway, Splendid Summer returns with a tropical vibes bouncy quest and a stash of shiny new rewards, including fresh allies, sales, and a new costume set. So they have a little teaser here, but we don't care about any of this stuff. I mean, I guess we could just check it out. It's 30 seconds long. So they're showing Luxian. Oh, I see. They linked to the wrong video on the embed on the website. This is just going to the Luxian teaser, not the Splendid Summer. Anyway, think you got what it takes to try as a Luxian starting June 20th. Oh, you know what? At least they gave us a proper date for it. So next week there will be Luxian already. Feels like he just left. Wish he wouldn't come back. Thanks to everyone who shared their questions in our Discord. We picked some of the most frequently asked topics and answered them below. So here's the first question is, will there ever be a collection overhaul for collectibles? I assume the collection tab. Was thinking passive bonuses for collecting sets. An example, collect all Lunar New Year allies, get bonus magic find. For now, the only reason to collect stuff is mastery, so maybe adding a bit more to it. Personally, I don't know how I feel about that, but let's read the devs comment first. So they say, that's a great suggestion. Thanks for sharing. While that specific kind of system isn't something we're planning on right now, we always appreciate ideas like this. Someone should tell them about my battle pass idea. We're thinking about how collectibles fit into the game long term, and feedback like yours helps guide those internal conversations. So while we can't promise anything, it's definitely noted. I mean, I guess cool, but yeah, that's kind of a big problem with Trove, is just the fact that everything about the game's end game is mastery farming, and that's kind of the big incentive for a lot of people. Personally, I think that they should add some more things for players to chase, but giving us specific bonuses for completing whole sets, I don't know how I feel about that, because on one hand, okay, that's more incentive to grind things, but at the same time, there's certain things in this game that are obnoxious as hell to grind in the first place, which is specifically why I don't have max mastery anymore. So we got another question here saying, are next gen versions of Trove planned for consoles, or will they still be able to play it on PS4 and Xbox One versions on the PS6 or the new Xbox in the future? Bro, the Switch 2 is the relevant one. Never mind the new consoles. They're not coming out in a while. But anyway, they say at the moment we're not working on a dedicated next gen version of Trove. Yeah, because what's the point? As that would be close to developing an entirely new game. No, it wouldn't. Anyway, that said, we're committed to keeping Trove playable and compatible on all major console platforms in the future. So basically, I think there's a little bit of a mistranslation here with the devs. What the person is probably not understanding about the PC version of Trove is all they can really do to kind of make the next gen versions of Trove work on the current consoles and then the next generation of consoles is basically just allow you to have the max settings that we already have on PC. That's basically it. But otherwise, they're already focusing on optimizing the game in the first place. I still just wish they would actually like just get it working on the Switch 2 devs, please. Please, I want to play it on the Switch 2. Thank you. Why haven't you guys brought back the old Shadow Tower labyrinths and repurposed them? I wish that this question was a little more direct because I kind of have a feeling what they're going to say. So they say, we hear you Shadow Towers were iconic and had a vibe that many of us still miss. Unfortunately, they came with major technical issues that we just couldn't overcome. The way the system was originally built doesn't work with the current version of Trove. Nobody's talking about bringing Shadow Towers back as the system. We're talking about overhauling the freaking delves and making it look like the Shadow Towers. Like, anyway, they say, that said, we're actively exploring new ways to bring back that kind of fun, whether it's through group content, raid-like challenges, that'll be the day in Trove, or layered difficulty systems. Nothing can be confirmed yet, but we're definitely thinking in that direction. Vague as always. And there's more. Do you want your question answered? That's it? That's what we waited on? Like, I mean, oh, what a wasted potential. Like, the community letter is like so good for Trove, and it's just wasted on like just super generic answers. I mean, nothing against the devs, I get it, but I think that like we as the players need to be a lot more responsible with our questions in pretty much like explaining it out to them, because you got to remember that a lot of these developers are like new to the dev team, and I kind of knew reading this question that unfortunately it was going to be just vague enough that the person who would be responding would misunderstand. Now, I'm not saying that the person asking the question made a mistake or anything like that. It's pretty specific what a lot of us endgame players want them to do with the Shadow Towers. And me in particular, I just think that they should end up changing the stupid delves from being a disgusting cave the color of puke and instead make it the Shadow Tower dungeons. Like, you guys might remember the last event, we had that 3-star Fae dungeon that was just a Shadow Tower repurposed into a dungeon, which was actually pretty awesome and kind of nostalgic in a way. But just make that the delves. Then people would actually enjoy the delves, because then it would just be an infinite Shadow Tower dungeon floor instead of the stupid caves that nobody likes. But okay, you guys can expect me to end up completing this event probably last night or today or something. I don't know. It depends how I'm feeling when I end up getting to editing and stuff, because there's a lot of things that I've been working on aside from Trove. And I've just been kind of, like I said earlier in the video, taking a bit of a break, giving myself some relaxation. And on top of that, things with baby Leon has been, I'm not going to say crazy, but it's been a lot. There's been a lot of change recently. He's very, very needy, and that he's like kind of a Velcro baby, always wanting to be on someone so that he can fall asleep. And then as soon as you put him down, he starts whining. And, you know, it's just the phase of baby Leon now that he's like at 3 months old. He's going to start getting a lot more aware of his surroundings and such. And so it's a lot harder for the wife and I to kind of separate ourselves from that. And especially for me to find time to actually record videos and let alone stream for a couple hours, because by the time it ends up getting to the end of the day, which is usually the only time that I actually have to do stuff, I'm beat, man. Like, I'm usually really, really tired. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the wife has been going to work again, just part-time. It's nothing crazy, but she'll often go to work like really, really early in the morning. And I often only can get my work done really, really late at night. And so I usually end up waking up to take care of the baby while the wife's at work, which means I only get like 3 or 4 hours sleep every night. Now, tonight and this week, I'm fortunate enough that the wife is going to be going to work, for various days, but she's going to work later, which means that I can actually stock up some videos, get some stuff ready for you guys. I mean, granted, I've had videos out for you guys every single day over these past few weeks. And more particularly, I've actually been posting too many videos. You guys might have caught any one of my Summer Games Fest reaction, Future Game Show, and all that stuff. Basically, we had E3 go on, but it's not called E3 anymore. I am planning on having a separate video that I'm working on that's going to be the E3 2025 video that talks about the games that I highlighted, gives a little bit more feedback towards them now that it's had some time to sit. But I'm also low-key waiting for the June Direct to be announced, like the Nintendo Direct, but that just might not happen. So I don't know. They ended up announcing some new Splatoon spin-off Switch 2 game, and it's like, okay, cool. Would have liked to see this in a Direct, but anyways, I digress. Point being is I'm really excited for the Switch 2, but the only real game that we have to play on it currently is Mario Kart. And speaking of which, I got to work on my Mario Kart review. I got a review of the Nintendo Switch coming. I'm slowly getting used to, messing around with the Switch Pro controller so I can do a review of that. And just generally speaking, I'm still trying to do Fantasy Life tutorials, and I want to do a couple Cubic Odyssey videos. Now that the series is done, I figured I could do a couple tutorials of some things that the game doesn't explain properly. Suffice to say, I'm very, very inspired and excited to make more videos like that for these other games, even if they're not necessarily like super relevant on the channel anymore, because I've kind of moved on from a lot of those games. But when it comes to Trove, again, a lot of my excitement was backed on the fact that I was planning on playing Trove on the Switch 2, because then we would have the New Beginnings series where I'm on a new account. I can actually like slowly play through the game, and we can actually kind of have progression system of a full free-to-play account instead of my big boy account here on PC. But with all of that said, I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate the positivity, and I appreciate the patience. Trove is not going anywhere, never has, never will, but I don't know. Give me some time, because I'm still kind of cooking.